Where do you guys want me? Oh, wow. Okay, listen, coachable.
Coach, you want to open statement for the first?
Yeah. Well, it's a great event. We want to thank Position Sports and the Hall of Fame and the city of Vegas. We all know this. Arizona fans have a special relationship with Vegas, and when we love coming here and being the first game of the year, it's really early. We never played a game on November 3rd that counted. To see all our fans around and the excitement, for this game, it just kind of helps remind us why we do this. And we know at Arizona basketball, we always talk about it. We're part of something much bigger than ourselves, and we know we have an amazing legacy that we're honoring all the time. And for our guys to come out and put on a show like they did in an awesome atmosphere against a really impressive formidable opponent was pretty special. So, but my next thing I'm going to add in this opening statement, and I'm going to let you chat to these guys. Could the Hall of Fame is awesome, but how in the world do they not have Jaden Bradley as one of the top 20 point guards in the country? And you guys know I don't mess with these lists that much, but in JB, and I talked about him a little, but JB's a guy that he doesn't need anything extra. He doesn't take up any extra space in the room when he has to. He's always leaving room for his teammates to be special. And at the end of the day, he's just a get it done type of guy. So, I know there's add-ons to that list, but if there's any way this guy's not one of the top, 2 or 3 players in the country, I've been doing this for a while, and then they don't make him much better than this. So he was amazing today, and then obviously you say the same for Koa. Koa, it was a coming out for him, so to speak. Everyone's known about him, but no one's really studied him and watched him. And he's a special player. Just the way he came out in that atmosphere, and he went against the first team All-American, and that kid's a heck of a player, and Koa obviously more than held his own. So we're proud to call these guys Wildcats, and it was a great night for Arizona basketball.
Koa, how much did these games that you've played in Team USA over the years, and particularly this last summer with Tommy, kind of prepare you for this as this first debut? Did it feel that way, like it was really a college debut, or just another game for you?
You hear me? Honestly, I think it really helped me this summer, especially playing with Coach Lloyd. He ran some of the same sets at USA, so coming to U of A in the fall, it was pretty easy to adapt to those, and just I think me and Coach built a really good relationship this summer, and I'm just excited for the season, and I'm really happy to be coached by Coach Lloyd.
Koa, I have a question for you back here. You looked very confident tonight in your debut match. How did these exhibition matches back in Tucson help prepare you for this?
I think those helped me a lot for sure. Just getting on the floor in McHale, playing a live game. But I think what really helped me was just the practices. We practiced really hard throughout the week, leading up to this game, and I think I'm just grateful to have coaches and teammates that put me in positions to be good, and especially JB. He just makes my game so easy. I think, what coach said, piggybacking on that, he's one of the best point guards in the country, if not the best point guard in the country.
Coach, congratulations on the win and a fantastic, fantastic performance by these two guys, but also by Ivan Karchenkov. What have you been seeing out of him in practice that led you to have him start today, and then his performance today?
Well, he's seasoned, and he obviously he's young. He just turned 19, but he's played high level basketball. He was coached by a guy named Pablo Lasso. You guys might not know that name, but he was also the guy that coached Luka Doncic at Real Madrid. And so, I've gotten to know Coach Lasso over the years, and so a couple years ago, Coach Lasso was the head coach at Bayern Munich, where Ivan was playing. And so I obviously called to do my homework, and he's just like, Tommy, you're going to be blown away how ready he is from day one. And, and he showed flashes of this, he's also had some ups and downs in practices. But for him to come out today and perform like he did on this stage was impressive, because what I've been on is about rebounding, and he led us in rebounding tonight. So that shows me he's a good learner. So probably gives me the liberty to keep getting on him.
On the far left side.
This question for Jaden. Jaden, I thought you started out to where you were a little, and I think when the lead built to double digits, I think you started asserting yourself.
what was the mindset once you guys got down double digits? Because you seemed to really up your game and become more physical and just take it to them instead of staying back a little bit.
We just knew Florida was a great team, so we tried not to panic when we got down. We trusted in each other, trusted in the system, 2-3 ball screens, and we just took what they gave us, whether that was a pocket pass, a layup, and then we just trusted each other, and then we ended up getting that lead.
Tommy, off of that, with the self-circuit, just news of opening line.
Florida came out, some of our coverages weren't great, and, there's a lot of things that they do something, and it's hard. That's why we do it, and they did a great job taking advantage of some of that early and getting some deep penetration and just got a bunch of, points at the rim with their bigs, and then our guys kind of settled in and made some adjustments, but I told our guys, these games are crazy, and they're emotional, but they're long. So take a breath. You can get down, you can get up, but it doesn't mean, we were down 10 or 12 at one point. We were up 10 or 12 at one point. We were up. I thought we had that thing down to the end, and obviously we got to work on the game stuff a little bit. We weren't as clean as we needed to be at the end of the game to close it out. When you have that lead, it's paramount that you find a way to close out the game and not to give your opponent a chance to tie it. And I think Florida had the ball down 3 under a minute to go, and that's awesome. It gives us something to work on. So we're going to focus on that and get to work.
Jaden, Anthony said earlier in the week that playing against Florida opening game, that was an opportunity for your program to assert themselves on a national stage. Do you feel you've done that?
It's a long season. I just feel like we got a lot of deep guys, and it was Cole's night, it was Yvonne's night. But we got a lot of guys. You got Deli, we got Braden and Mo, so just excited for those guys too.
Tommy, you've been telling us for the past few weeks that Arizona, the three-point shooting is fine. You're not concerned. Tonight, you only took 5.
Which is crazy. Yeah, that's not really the game plan. It's just kind of, how they're guarding you sometimes. But, if you shoot 5 threes and you can attempt 38 free throws, I don't know. I know you guys are probably all smarter than analytics than I am, but that puts a lot of pressure on defense, because you know what happens when you shoot a free throw? They foul you. And those fouls add up. And then they get deeper into the bench. And, maybe guys, if they are playing, they're a little more tentative. They can't be as aggressive. So, there's lots in the game, and I know a trend is shooting threes. I don't think we're going to shoot 5 threes a game. Obviously, I'd like to be in the 20s, if they're the right threes, and I think we'll get there over time.
Tommy, I just wondering, you guys were undefeated, I think, in November for your first 3 years. Last year was a different deal. Do you feel like you're kind of back on the road where the team is ready to go? The same pieces together, et cetera.
I love how you try to get me to think like multiple games ahead. I'm really happy with how tonight went. There's obviously a great start for us, but haven't been through what we went through last year, and with the character we have, and the certainty in the level of talent that we have. I wasn't really worried about winning or losing today. I just wanted to come out and compete and get a feel for it. And to get the win is great. Now, let's get on the plane. Let's get back home. Enjoy some beautiful weather in Tucson tomorrow. Relax a little bit and start prepping for Utah Tech and you know what, and do some self-scouting, because there's going to be a lot of things we can clean up from this game.
2 more, Steve, and then Chris.
Tommy, that was kind of a question. You're in the same situation. You went to Duke, knocked them out. You talked about the November games. Nothing's really. Do you feel in the same spot like that where maybe you had to
Are
kind
you
of
guys questions?
No, that was just my question.
But you know what? But I also know, we got a couple games at home, and then I know, there's this thorn in our side from LA, that we got to go over and play, in their city, and in like, I don't know, what's that, 10 or 11 days from now. And I got a lot of respect for them. We're not even thinking about that game yet. But there's so many battles to be had. And you know what's really cool? And as I'm getting more experience coaching, just enjoy it. Enjoy the battles. Don't get too worked up. Don't get too stressed out. Try to figure out what you got to do to win the game. But man, this is a lot of fun.
One for Tommy and then one for JB really quickly. You told us on Friday that after the game, you'd either feel overwhelmed or really comfortable with the front court. How do you feel?
Great. Obviously Tobe didn't have his great game, but a great game for him and the work he's put in, but he's going to. And Dwayne didn't probably play as much as he could have, but he's going to be fine. Tobe, it's also, we were down 10 and we put him in the game. We had he was a big part of when we got back in the game, and so, there's lots of things that impact winning. And Tobe is a stud, and I know he's going to be great. Mo is showing progress, and he's going to go. And Mo has really worked hard and gotten a lot better. He just needs a few games under his belt where he's, the impact guy we want him to be, and then he's going to get his real confidence. And obviously, Koa, is a force, and I think Koa is a matchup nightmare, every day, and I think you're going to continue to see more and more from his game. I mean, he also had 5 assists, 7 rebounds. Should have been double digits, Koa, on boards, but we'll get there.
And then really quick for JB, did this feel like a tournament game to you? Just a lot of runs, kind of knockout, drag out sort of thing?
Yeah, like Coach said, it's a long game, a great opponent. We just treat every game like it's, a big one. And most importantly, we got to, don't get too high, don't get too low, and, have a great practice Wednesday.
I got one thing down. Guys, this guy in the back over here, one of the reasons you do this is relationships. This is a guy I coached. You probably all know his name. You might not recognize him now. He's a big hit on the big 3, Jeremy Pargo. And Pargo is one of the best dudes I've known. He told me today it's been 20 years, right? Some crazy deal like that. So, you know what? And these guys, you're going to be doing the same thing someday, hanging out at a press conference after coming to watch Wildcats. I mean, that's the relationships we build in this thing are really special, and I wanted to make sure I gave a shout out to Jeremy Pargo. He's one of my all-time faves. So thank you guys.
Thank you.